Optical representation makes possible a greater distance between beholder and object that allows the beholder to imaginatively project him or herself onto the object. Re-Enchanting the World, an exhibition by Małgorzata Majgratas, was shown at the Polish Pavilion at the 59th International Arts Exhibition in Venice, which became one of the most important art events for the Roma people. Małgorzata is the first Roma artist in over 120-year history of the Venice Biennale to represent an international pavilion. This grand walk-in calendar, also known as a picture palace, is a manifesto of Roma identity and art. It has 12 large fabric textiles formed by applique in order of the zodiac signs. Each vibrant textile installation comprises of 3 belts. The top represents the past, the lower represents the Roma people, and the middle belt represents the connection with the gods and the stars, and also a bit of magic. This is, however, a re-enchantment. The ideas come from the Renaissance period by an artist called Palazzo Schifanoa in Ferrara. Majgratas transforms these images and motifs by incorporating elements of Polish Romani culture and disenchanting stereotypical narratives about Roma. By doing this, the artist will create a world constantly subjected to re-enchantment, a kind of shelter offering hope and respite to the viewers. Małgorzata begins by searching through her memories, gathering thoughts and scanning photographs to create appropriate and interesting scenes to portray the Roma world then and now. Małgorzata collaborates with her family as she discusses scenes, fabric selections and clothing with her friends and family. She has cast important figures such as Sejja Stoschka, Kaiser Wick and Ethel Brooks. Kaiser was a child in Germany when the pogrom came for her and her family. Her mum managed to pass her out of the cart to her grandma. Her mum and her 10 siblings were taken and shot by the firing squad. Sejja was a very important Roma artist. When she was in the camps, she painted everything she saw. Małgorzata also creates scenes of normal Roma people going about their daily life, whilst creating a scene, kind of a self-portrait of what she was working on. Her family, her mum, sitting around sewing. She explains how she cuts up her favourite shirt for her to wear in the scene. She said she regrets it, but she needed to do it. It was a sacrifice, so she could really be part of the picture. She has connections with the fabric. They mean something to her, and she's putting that into the work. It's the soul and energy of what lies in the fabric, memories, touch, smell, relationships with family and friends. The artist explains how she gets in trouble with her uncle for cutting up his favourite trousers. She said, laughing, he got really angry. As a Roma child, you have to work twice as hard as the other children, do twice as much work at school to feel like you are good enough. This is what it's like for every Roma child in the classroom. Małgorzata is piecing the work together. Contemporary life of the Roma featured themes of time, journey, with astrology and magic corresponding with re-enchanting the world perfectly. The middle strip, which is strongly referencing the Palazzo Schifanoa, depicts the mythical story of some settlement of the Roman people in Europe. Consists of portraits of Roman women entwined with astrological symbols, like the 17th century graphics by Jacques Callot at the Schifanoa. The bottom strip illustrates daily life in the artist's hometown, Czarna Gora, and other Roma settlements. What is so interesting is that the artist has rendered these columns in cloth as opposed to marble. Marble being a cold and hard surface, they've become a more haptic, tactile surface. This allows a much more intimate and empathetic relationship between the viewer and the subject matter, breaking down the traditional perspectives associated with the Western gaze. This offers a sensual, haptic surface to be fully immersed in and connected into the environments the artist has created. This makes me think of the overall journey of the cloth from India to Eastern Europe. It's a complex and intricate history, intertwined with the migration and displacement of communities over centuries. The Romani community is an example of this. They were originally from northern India and migrated to Eastern Europe in the 16th century. The Romas have long history of working with textiles, and their traditional garments include brightly coloured fabrics, which are often embroidered with intricate designs today. The journey of cloth from India to Eastern Europe is still ongoing, with the trade of textiles between these regions continuing to play a significant part in the cultural exchange between different communities. It continues to evolve, reflecting on the interconnections of a globalised world. As I approach the fabric, I notice the intricate patterns and textures of the different fabrics used to create it. The artwork seems to be breathing, almost pulsing with life. It has a story to tell. The fibres evoke feelings of warmth, comfort and familiarity, reminding me of home, my family, and our tradition of sewing in the family. The use of natural fibres such as cotton, wool and silk also add an element of sustainability in the art, promoting ethical and environmentally conscious practices. The personal nature of the cloth also invites me to connect with the work on a deeper level, creating a sense of intimacy and empathy. Ultimately, the textiles are rich and complex art form that celebrates intricacies of handcrafted tradition of the Roma people and a personal expression of Małgorzata. I can imagine reaching out to touch it, my fingers brushing against the soft, velvety fabric, and I feel a rush of emotion. The texture is almost hypnotic, as if it's drawing me in, inviting me to explore its intricacies. As I move my hand across the surface of the artwork, I notice that each section has a different texture and weight. Some parts are rough and scratchy, while others are silky smooth. It's as though Małgorzata has woven together a symphony of textures, each one complementing the others perfectly. I begin to feel a connection to this. It's speaking to me through my fingertips. I feel a sense of calm and peace wash over me as I continue to explore the artwork's many layers and textures. I step back, gazing at the artwork with a newfound appreciation for the power of touch. I feel grateful to have experienced this haptic encounter with this art. A sixth sense of communication has just happened.